Hello, everybody. I'm Austin Ward for Lettermen Row. This is Rapid Reaction brought to you by Buyers Auto. We're rewinding what happened just here on this football field on Saturday afternoon in the Horseshoe. 42-0 for the Buckeyes over Cincinnati. Guys, we talked about it all week. We thought this would be a tougher test for Ohio State. In the end, that personnel mismatch played out maybe how we thought. I think all of us picked a cover. So, about what you thought, Tim, or was this more impressive than you expected?
Yeah, it's about what I thought. I thought the shutout, as you and I talked about, staying on the field near the end there when they got it, when Ohio State submitted the shutout, when Dallas Scant knocked that ball loose and Marcus Williamson recovered the back of the end zone. That kind of saved the day from the shutout standpoint. A couple other plays went good for him. Chase Young blocking the field goal attempt, but there is no doubt about the fact that this defense has rebounded. If that's the right term, or rebuilt, so to speak. And I think that's what stood out as much as anything. And Justin Fields took another step as far as leading the team and staying within himself and playing the game of football.
Yeah, Justin Fields is a good quarterback apparently, so we can check that box, right? I mean, he's pretty good.
Yeah, he was declared the starter 3 weeks ago.
Right. So I mean, imagine how good he could be if he would have been declared the starter in February.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, when you think about the defense, I just loved that they put the starters back in to get the shutout at the end of the third quarter when the interception happened by Tough Borland. I mean, they had let the backups in the whole drive, and all of a sudden they were like, wait a second, we are not going to do this again. They bring in the starters for one play, and it turns into a pick, and Tough Borland with a considerably sized trailer on his back down the sideline. When defensive tackles are passing you, hey, Tuff's a great. I think Tuff's a pretty darn good football player. I think he's a much better linebacker than people think, but he is not the fleetest of foot.
I thought the skills kicked in after he caught that, to be honest with you. He was tight roping there for a while.
Chase Young, right?
Isn't it funny that Tough Borland showed up? He made some big time tackles early on. He gets the interception, and then he'll still get criticized because he wasn't fast enough to take it back to the house. No. Hey, and I needed that for my bold prediction because Chase Young let that interception get away. I said a defensive touchdown today. I guess that's the one blemish. That and maybe a 4th and 1 play call early on.
You can't have everything, man.
No, and that's I think what Ryan Day will look at here. I asked him about it. He feels much different than a week ago. That was a start to finish. You talked about the finish there to preserve the shutout. That's what Ohio State was expecting, and I think that this is a tough Cincinnati team. I think they're going to finish the year inside the top 25, but this is a reminder, I think, of how supremely talented these Buckeyes are on both sides of the football.
And I'm writing a story for us for Sunday on Chase Young, just kind of like the inspiration for this defense and vice versa, because he's feeding off everybody else too. But I mean, when your top player breaks through behind a block by DeJuan Jones, and blocks that first field goal attempt by Cincinnati, that just shows you what level he's playing at, how much he wants the team to be better than it was a year ago, defense especially. And when you've got, like I've said, when you've got your leaders playing like that with that kind of zeal, I mean, it can take you places. And Justin Fields said after the game, he thinks they can be as good as they want to be. So this is going to be an interesting team to cover.
There was another play that just had me thinking about the way that this team is going right now, and it's not about talent, which they are obviously one of the most talented teams in the country, one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the country without question. They're up 42-0, and they punt. And Jeff Okudah is flying down the sideline as a gunner and diving into the end zone to try to stop a ball at the 1-yard line when there's no reason for it. And it's that sort of thing, I think, is a difference maker. That's the kind of play that, as I'm watching on the field, I'm like, wow, these guys are going totally to the wall. You know what I mean?
Well, and Justin Fields running touchdown to the left side. J.K. Dobbins throws a block that UC defender will be remembering for several days.
And I was going to ask you about this, Tim, because J.K. Dobbins, you can say whatever you want. Last week was an inconsistent performance, and I think Ohio State publicly and privately was not thrilled with the effort that it got from J.K. Dobbins, and he didn't talk to us after that game. He didn't talk to us this week. That was the version, I think, that was talked about in training camp. Not just the block, but dropping the pads. He had the 60-yard touchdown run. And now he's untouched, but he's running away from guys. I think that's the version that everyone was expecting to see.
And who did he credit? Of course, he credited his offensive line. I mean, he's really consistent on that. The good ones are.
Right.
But I think, he and Ohio State needed this kind of game from him today. But I'm telling you, man, Master Teague III is second to no one. I mean, he is coming. I mean, he made some cuts today that, when they want to run their offense the way they want to run it, those kind of cuts are what make the difference. And I mean, you can see the depth developing quickly behind J.K. Dobbins, but J.K. needed that game, and that breakaway run, man. Don't ever discount what a home run does for a football or a baseball team.
You know, I was watching Master Teague, and I've not always been the most optimistic about his role in the team, similar to how Austin's been with DeMario McCall. Like, I just don't know if he's the right guy, but I watched him today, and you just can't, forget someone who runs super hard.
Right.
And I'm watching him, and for the old guys out there, he reminds me of Joe Montgomery. Remember Joe Montgomery?
Yeah.
Wore the same number back in the 90s, and just a guy who may not be the fastest guy out there, but he was letting guys hit him, but he was hitting them back.
That's a good analogy there.
I'm watching him, and that's who he reminded me of, and I think that there's definitely a place in this offense, especially when you're talking about an offense that wants to sometimes go under center and sometimes, pound it out. He is a guy that I think something in my mind is changing my impression about Master Teague.
All right, so there's a couple guys we've thrown out there. Chase Young, J.K. Dobbins. This is Rapid Reaction brought to you by Byers Auto. I'm curious, just to open it up, if you had to pick one MVP today, Tim, out of a 42-0 game, you give one guy a Buckeye leaf, where are you starting?
I would give it to Chase Young. I think Chase Young is the leader, the gang leader of that group, and this is a different defense than we saw last year. I'm talking about from the way they're playing, the speed they're playing, and the plays they're making. Yeah, they're going to run into some situations. They gave us some plays today. You're going to do that against these teams. Practice too, as the old saying goes. But I just think Chase Young is playing exactly like you would want your leader, big-time leader, All-American, possible top 3 draft pick to play for you.
I think he's better than the Bosa's, and I can't believe I'm saying that. I honestly think Chase. I can't believe I'm saying it, but I'm watching him down here, and he is a guy that is every single play right now when he's on the field, he is in the backfield, and it is immediate.
Remember when people questioned his motor, Berm?
Yeah, I'm not sure why. His motor was different when he's playing behind the Bosa's, I guess.
It can look bad when you got 2 bad ankles.
That's correct.
Another guy. Oh, go ahead.
No.
Devon Hamilton, to me. I mean, zero in on Devon Hamilton, ladies and gentlemen, a few plays, and watch the energy that he's bringing.
Jay Sean Cornell moving back inside. Exactly. I mean, these guys are, to me, it's going to Justin Fields, and it's because of one play specifically, and that was his first touchdown run. After the first drive, Buckeyes bogged down. He came back, and that second drive put it all on his own shoulders, picked up a couple first downs, and then and Ryan Day talked about it in the postgame, it was a play action, it was a passing play, and he just saw that there was nobody open, took one step and was gone, and got rocked at the end zone and didn't care, popped right back up. And, for the Buckeyes this year, we've said it a bunch of times. This is all on Justin Fields. There's no help after Justin Fields, really. Chris Chugginoff played nice.
Yeah, but don't go that crazy. But you are right. They would change things.
It would change things quite considerably for Ohio State. And he taking those hits and popping right back up. He's going to have to do that all year long. And it showed so much toughness on that in the first touchdown of the day. And to me, that set the tone for everything.
I'm going to add one more to that with Justin Fields, and that was since we're getting into these nitty gritty details, sort of like Ryan Day with the throwaways last week. Yeah. There was a time in the second half where Ben Victor got into a little bit of a screaming match and shoving along with the Bearcats.
Ran right over.
And Justin Fields went right to him, broke that up, pulled him back. This is week 2 with him as a starter. He's been here for 8 months. But if your quarterback has to be that vocal leader, Justin Fields is starting to do that. And these guys, obviously, I think they're playing for him. They see he's taking hits, he's talking. He's got 9 touchdowns in 2 weeks. I mean,
is that good?
I'm going to be surprised if I'm not going back to the Marriott Marquis in Times Square to cover the Heisman again this year.
He may get elected co-captain, middle of the season. I mean, but that's what your quarterback has to become, is that guy, like he has become. And speaking of names we didn't mention, Benjamin Victor.
Ben Vic.
Yeah, he played big time today. And then, of course,
Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson, the catch he made, ladies and gentlemen,
He's here.
It's just the beginning. And when Ryan Day, and this is a freshman, and when Ryan Day gushes about a play like it's an NFL caliber play, both the throw and the catch, the head coach usually doesn't do stuff like that. So even he was impressed. Like he said, he hoped he didn't pop an Achilles when he was jumping up and down, by how excited he got by that.
Yeah, lots of credit to go around when Ohio State wins 42-0. We've got a lot more coverage coming to you on LettermenRow.com. Tim's got a story. Berm's going to have that recruiting impact all weekend long. We'll see what else he does. Spencer Holbrook will give out the Buckeye leaves. I'll maybe throw a couple things out there in my column as well. And then we've got a full week of coverage coming as well, heading up to Indiana next week. But this will put a bow on it here for Rapid Reaction for Byers Auto. This is Tim May. That's Berm. I'm Austin Ward. We'll see you for Rapid Reaction next Saturday at Indiana.